Hello, what up, and welcome back, family, to the We Random Podcast, the podcast where my husband and I discuss an array of issues from all sorts of random categories. I am your host, Savannah, and with me always is my talented and tantalizing co-host.
It's your boy, Mike, a.k.a. Izzo on the beat, as always.
Why are you talking so slow?
What do you mean? Man, you know how I'm,
like a robot.
Man, no, I had to do it like that so everybody can hear me properly.
You're trying to enunciate?
Yeah, man, I gotta be on point. That's what it is.
Oh, so before we get into the topics, I have a random question, and it's not, for the show, but just totally random. It can be on the show, but
what?
Have you ever had like one of those rogue farts that just like forced their way out? Like
rogue?
Defiant rogue. Like there's nothing you can do to stop it. It's just coming, whether you like it. It's gonna break the seal.
Nah, see,
other than when you sleep at night and you sleeping on your back and your legs are up.
Oh, that's how we gonna start it off?
Yes,
you already trying to drop bombs. Literally.
Other than that, when you're awake, walking around in public, have you ever had those? Do you get those?
I don't get rogue farts. Like what it is, like they sneak up on me. So I can't even call them rogue. Like I don't even know they coming.
Do you force them out, or do they just come out on their own?
They sneak up. Like literally. Like sometimes I don't know I got a fart, and then all of a sudden like, oh damn.
So they sneak out all the time.
Yeah, not all the time. I mean, majority of the time though they sneak out. Yeah, that's.
So you got loose booty over here.
That ain't no loose booty. It don't come out like. It don't come out like a whistle. Ain't nothing like it don't come out like that now. It come out like a burnt, like a little trumpet,
strong.
like a little trumpet.
Have I ever told you the time that like I had a rogue fart and it taught me a valuable life lesson?
Oh look, man, if we gonna go on farts, we can talk about your farts.
I'm just asking.
All right now, you out here with the elephant, the long one. It's like, yo, what was that? That joint.
Squad of ducks. It's out here rolling.
Your farts sound like they struggling to get out. Like,
Geese
man. All right, now, what did you say? Go ahead.
Have I ever told you about the time like a rogue or defiant fart like taught me a valuable life lesson?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so the only reason why I remember this story is because I was scrolling through Facebook and I came across a picture of some Terry fries from Gracie's.
What's Terry fries? What's that?
It's French fries with teriyaki sauce on them.
Oh, okay. Oh, it makes sense. I got you.
Terry fries, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kaimuki High School, across the street was Gracie's. We used to go there all the time. So, one morning, I was there, and I ordered some Terry fries. I remember I was eating those.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this dude that used to come in and hit on me constantly. Like, in school, he seen me in there. I was like, oh, don't come in, don't come in. Yeah. So, I'm sitting there, minding my business, eating my Terry fries before I go to school.
Right.
He comes in with the squad. Of course, he invites himself in to my booth and begins his normal, how you doing?
Man.
What you doing?
Right.
When you gonna date me? Blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not for it. Like, just, no, I'm over it. So I'm like sitting there enjoying, and I feel a fart coming on that I just cannot stop.
Oh,
so I'm trying to make, I'm trying to lean forward so it can hopefully get its way out quietly, because my farts aren't that quiet.
Not at all. They are very obvious.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm doing my best. There's no way I can make it any less obvious other than just literally like trying to spread my cheeks and help it come out quietly. So I'm trying to grab my book bag, and I bring my book bag from the top and I like kind of slide it onto the chair, and then here it comes. Boop.
Oh,
and
Lord.
He hears it and he stops and he looks at me and he's like, "Did you just poop?" And I was like,
pooed it, yo.
I looked at him. I was like, "No." He was like, "You just pooed it." I was like, "No, I didn't. That was my bag hitting the bench."
You had to hold it down. Like
I did. I stuck to it. I did, and I was like, "Look, I got to go." And he was like, "You sure you didn't poop?" I was like, "Man, I don't even have time for this. Have a good day." So of course, in that moment, I was like, "Look,
you're lucky your farts don't stink."
No, exactly.
Boy, you the man.
My saving grace is that my farts, my flatulence, doesn't smell.
Yeah.
But you know what it taught me?
What?
Like, you may have the upper hand in situations, but it don't take nothing but a millisecond.
Oh yeah, man, fart just
for that other person to have the upper hand, because if he would have identified and smelled the fart, oh man, it would have been all over school.
Yeah, it would have
by first period.
It'd have been roasting.
I would have had the football boys all over cracking jokes, farting behind me. So,
but you know what, man? For a lot of guys, well, I can't say for me, like that ain't really like, you know, a huge deal about the fart, unless you just like being disrespectful.
I mean, I would have rolled with it. It would have been what it was,
laughed.
But you don't know our school, like Kaimaki High School. Like I'm telling you, like we hold on to stuff. Yeah. We still have jokes to this day.
It would have been funny.
People get roasted on.
Oh, dude, it would have been funny. But
I have a friend, Hammer Time, so she knows already.
Yo.
Like there's stuff. It just it sticks with you forever.
Man. And not to go long on this point though, I had a situation happen to me. You already know how I get down with my stories. I ain't gonna make it too long, but I was at the gym with like a personal trainer. I was just testing it out. I was at this thing called what was it? Riverside. Everybody from VA, y'all know what's up. It was off of Jefferson, off of Jefferson, and we used to play ball over there, and I was in there, and I was with a personal trainer, and I was doing crunches.
Oh.
I was doing crunches. I don't know what I had to eat that day, but man, my stomach was bubbling.
Probably a grilled cheese.
Bro, I don't know what it might have been. You might be right. I was sitting there hitting them crunches out, 1, 2, and you know this was the back in the day crunches where you got the person down there on your feet, holding your feet while you coming up
like
on the crunches. Sit-ups? Yeah, I mean, but the same thing. Sit-ups, crunches, the same thing.
Okay.
So, anyway, so I'm going up 1, 2, 3, and I'm getting to like 15, 16, or whatever, and I'm like 16. And, you start to grunt. Man, I got to like 20, and I came up, boom. Man, it's the most embarrassing thing to fart in front of somebody's face like that. Yo, I ain't even know him like that. Ain't like it was one of my partners. So, yeah, that happened to me, man. So,
oh, man.
I'm sure somebody listening that had a similar story, because I know a few people that farted in front of people at the gym. Even people lifting weights. So,
well, I would love to hear them. So
yeah.
Comment, hit us up on any social media platform.
Man. What's your
Let
most?
us know if you have a fart story that's either taught you a lesson or was super embarrassing or both. But we should get into it. So first up, I want to roll it back and give you your props, because you had a prediction last week that Kim, Kanye weren't happy.
Yeah.
Divorce probably was going to be in the works. And lo and behold, this week, Kanye goes on an entire Twitter rant.
Yeah, Kanye got this.
He calls Kim's mama Kris Jong-un, which I just thought so great. That was just amazing. But Kim, go ahead, she responds to it, right? Yeah. And I guess she responds to his rally, what he was saying at the rally. Oh, and that upsets him.
Yeah, about the abortion thing or something like that.
Everything.
He mentioned, I think the main part that she got upset about was the fact that she mentioned their firstborn, which was North. Hold on now. What now? Hold on.
Her name is North. Obviously, the last name is West.
Okay. Yeah. So their firstborn, they were, I guess, thinking about getting an abortion.
Well, he said a bunch of stuff the whole time.
Yeah, but she was saying that was the main thing, was because it brought her into the mix, because it was basically saying that she was the one that was going to make the decision to do it, and he wasn't with it. You know what I mean? In a way. So you get what I'm saying? That's one of the main reasons why she was as upset as she was. Not necessarily saying that she wasn't upset with the other comments, but bringing in her name and bringing in their children's name in that rally in regards to abortion, yeah, she's gonna feel some kind of way.
Well, she made a statement, which we all know she didn't write, and somebody probably wrote for her and just was released on her Instagram. But I think it's since been deleted, as is Kanye's statements. Some of the tweets said, Chris and Kim put out a statement without my approval. That's not what a wife should do. Which I kind of agree. That's probably Chris's doing. Get in front of it.
Yeah, he should have chopped it up with him or something. But
I think if you say anything, I shouldn't be out there trying to, explain it away as being a mental disorder.
Yeah.
But, I mean, she had her whole thing. She said, as many of you know, Kanye has bipolar disorder. Anyone who has this or has a loved one in their life who does knows how incredibly complicated and painful it is to understand. I've never spoken publicly about how this has affected us at home because I am very protective of our children and Kanye's right to privacy when it comes to his health. But today, I feel like I should comment on it because of the stigma and misconceptions about mental health. Those that understand mental illness or even compulsive behavior know that the family is powerless unless the member is a minor. People who are unaware or far removed from this experience can be judgmental and not understand that the individual themselves have to engage in the process of getting help no matter how hard the family and friends try. I understand Kanye is subject to criticism because he is a public figure and his actions at times can cause strong opinions and emotions. He is a brilliant but complicated person who, on top of being an artist and a black man, who experienced the painful loss of his mother and has to deal with the pressure and isolation that is heightened by his bipolar disorder. Those who are close with Kanye know his heart and understand his words sometimes do not align with his intentions. She goes on, basically just asking for compassion and empathy. Yeah. And there were plenty of people that went out, right, to go and see Kanye and spoke on it and was like, he's fine. He seems okay.
Yeah, you got Dame Dash, you had Dave Chappelle, you had Justin Bieber. I don't know what that was all about.
I think Justin Bieber went out there because they have some kind of collaboration going on.
Oh, okay. All right.
At least that's what I read.
Yeah, I did see that, man. So, and then even Elon Musk, I think, he said that he spoke with Kanye and he didn't think Kanye was crazy either.
Well, that's what I think. That's actually what sparked his rant on Twitter.
Yeah.
So he says that Kim was trying to fly to Wyoming with a doctor to lock him up, like the movie Get Out. What else did he say? He said, Chris, don't play with me. You know that you and Kanye, which is her boyfriend,
right,
cracking a joke, are not allowed around my children. Y'all tried to lock me up. Kim tried to bring a doctor to lock me up. He said, if I get locked up like Mandela, y'all will know why.
Yeah, Kanye was on one with tweets, and I mean he tends to do that though, which is what makes it kind of like, what's really going on, because every time he's got a project coming up, he does a whole bunch of tweets and he starts to put out a whole bunch of crazy stuff.
He disappears for a long time while he's working on it.
Yeah.
And then he comes out and he does something that's kind of over the top.
Yeah. It's almost like sometimes it comes off as a publicity stunt. But, I mean, for real, I think he was in the sunken place and somebody came with a camera phone and took a picture of him. He snapped out of it. And, bro, he was just telling them what was going on.
And they've been living apart for quite some time now.
Man, they've been living apart for a long time now, man.
So, I mean, I can't say that you were all the way wrong, sir, because, the articles go on to say how divorce is definitely an option right now.
Man, he was requesting one, I think, but see, right now, he already, and we just so happen to be shooting this on the same day that he dropped his apology. So he dropped an apology today trying to say he was sorry and all that and apologizing for everything that was going on. So, I mean, still don't mean that everything I was saying won't legit as far as it being rocky. Anytime you start putting stuff out there publicly about divorce and, not wanting to see the person and y'all living separately and all that.
Somebody in Kim's camp was saying that they've been, it's been a long time coming.
Oh, dude, it's been a rumor for a minute, but I mean, a lot of people just think that, hey, man, they having kids and they happy, but it looks just like a business partnership. It's like they were friends before, they got together, and But the Kanye before Kim and the Kanye with Kim is two different Kanyes. And not saying that he didn't grow mentally, but I'm saying like his just that's how he looked, man. He looked lost in the sauce, like his mind, like he just don't look like, huh?
Her sauce?
I don't know. I can't say her sauce. I'm just saying maybe the Kardashian clan, like they got a history of just
what they bring to the table, publicity wise. You mean? Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know what I can't call it, man. I don't know what it is, but all them brothers that was messing with him, they chew him up, man. They chewing him up. If you happen to get out of there, you straight. I know Reggie Bush. I said for some, I can't even get the word out. He
That's why.
I mean, he's alright.
Slowly.
See, you got jokes, man. See, but nah, he got out. He got a girl that looked just like Kim Kardashian, and then of course Ray J. He got his thing, but everybody else, I think, majority of the Kardashians, man, a lot of them brothers they toe up for sure. They got a long list too, boy. But anyway,
there was one thing he did say during the rally. And he said that his stance is not to make abortion illegal at all. It should always be legal, but there should be an option of maximum increase available. Maximum increase would be everybody that has a baby gets $1 million. He didn't say where the $1 million would come from, but I mean, I think it's kind of a good idea. Maybe if you have a cap on it, if there was ever something that could come about like that, because his point was that it takes a village to raise a child. And society has been set up for single moms to not have the village so that they don't have children. So if that type of assistance was made and people were responsible, which we know a lot of people aren't necessarily responsible, especially when you have that amount of money, it could actually do a lot of good, or it could do a lot of bad. So
yeah,
I mean, I don't think everything he said was crazy. I don't think it was, it's a dreamer's world for him, I think is what he lives in. So
yeah, man, Kanye just out here living, and he's doing what he thinks is possible. That's it. I ain't mad at him for wanting to go try to be, the president of the United States. I think his heart's in the right place for sure. But is he the person that can lead the country? Hell no.
I don't think that they should use his bipolar disorder to calm the storm of the stuff that he's saying, though. I feel like that's wrong. I feel like
that brother got a whole lot. He got a whole lot on his chest, on his heart, and he got some stuff he want to say. And some of it
that Chris is in front of it, and she's telling Kim, "Look, this is what you need to do." She managed her when the whole sex tape thing came out. She said there was nothing they could do to stop it. So I mean, she's on her show, literally on the show, explaining what they did and how they turned it into a success story versus something that could have completely ruined her and her career and her life.
Yeah,
so I'm sure this is the approach that she's taking now. She's always coming from the momager side of things. And I didn't think it was right. I didn't like how she released this statement and switched the narrative where he might be emotional from the bipolar, but his thoughts and everything, I don't think he can complete a thought. Like we had that conversation where he might start explaining something and talk about something, and then it's like a squirrel moment happens and he needs to now explain what he's trying to explain, and it just goes from one to another. Somebody
interrupt him or something, and then it just takes him from where he was going to now.
And it might sound like he's rambling now because now he's addressing hecklers in the audience, or people screaming, or they say something about another topic and he's bringing up something else.
Like even the Harriet Tubman thing, real quick. It sounded like he was getting ready to go into something else, and he said Harriet Tubman, and he's like, well, really. Well, then he started like diverting for where he was headed with that comment to go on to say, well, really, Harriet Tubman really didn't. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he
we
does.
Heard somebody, was it CP from All Deaf Digital.
Yeah.
Try to break that down where the thought was, well, they were freeing the slaves. She was freeing the slaves, but
Right.
what he probably meant or was alluding to was that
Right.
they released them to a free nation, and yet here we all are still with slave mentality.
Yeah,
Because he touched on slave mentality before.
He said that before, right? He said it
So-
before, so it's it's definitely. I can understand what Kanye is saying when it comes to certain stuff because it happens with me all the time. It happens with me on this podcast. So some things that I'm trying to say, it just doesn't come across exactly how I want it to come across, So I get it, but when you're on that stage though, ain't no excuses, man. You gotta take your time on what you're trying to say and make sure you get it out right, because if not, they gonna hold you to it for sure.
Yeah, they'll make you look crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's kind of wrapped up. Let's move on to Miss Megan Thee Stallion and Mr. Tory Lanez. New developments.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
So I had mentioned that maybe it might have been in self-defense because the size difference.
Yep.
And now it's coming out that
alleged, but it's coming out
that she basically was
violating this brother.
She was beating him. She got violent, and it's kind of what was going on. So they're trying to play it to be self-defense. So it kind of makes sense to a degree, even if it might be a lie. But her friend is also supporting that she was hitting him. Like she's made statements, I guess, to other podcasts that Megan was violent. But we didn't say in the last episode that there were bullet fragments pulled from Megan's feet, and she had to go under surgery to get those removed. But she was going to make a full recovery. So, I mean, that's still good.
Right.
But so it was bullet fragments. It wasn't glass that shattered and cut her, because I think I might have said that. So that can be cleared up.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else? So Media Takeout said that it could be in an attempt for him to avoid going to prison for attempted murder charges, because California law allows the use of force in self-defense of others when you reasonably believe that you or other people are in imminent danger of physical harm, and that force is necessary to stop the danger.
Yeah.
So, remembering Tory Lanez is 5'3" and 120 pounds. Megan Thee Stallion is 5'10".
Yeah, he gonna play that up.
Some people claim she's closer to 6 foot, or she's actually like 6 foot something and weighs close to 200 pounds. I told you I can see that, because I myself am 5'9" and a half, 5'10", and I'm like 180-ish.
Right.
So she's built thicker than me.
Right.
That's easy.
Yeah.
I can see her being 200 easy.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to get a picture of what this looks like. This looks like if you put Tory Lanez up against an MMA fight with John Jones.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you get somebody about his size. I mean, it look crazy, man. It's like, I can't even make a comparison, but I mean,
it's two completely different weight classes, and they're not similar. MMA, he would be a flyweight. Tory would be a flyweight.
I didn't know they got something called flyweight.
That's exactly what it would be. That's very, very tiny. That's why.
So there's featherweight, but there's also a flyweight.
Yeah, and then before the featherweight is bantamweight.
Yeah, right. Damn.
But if you want to look at it boxing wise, imagine Tory Lanez going up against Evander Holyfield from the 1980s.
Yeah. Nah, that's crazy.
Just imagine that.
Yeah, I mean the dude's little, man. So I mean I mean obviously he still got some man strength, but I mean she got size. How much man strength
can you have in a car though? Like you are.
Oh, that's where it went down
happened in a vehicle. So yeah, I understand.
Oh, yeah. She was probably.
If he's on the driver's side, he has the steering wheel that's kind of impeding
How you
his
shoot her in
movements
the
also.
foot? How you shoot her in the foot though in the car?
I don't think he was trying to shoot her per se. Maybe he just brought the gun out.
Try to tell her to
we're
chill.
just we're just shooting stuff out. Yeah, maybe just to chill her out and like scare her to stop, maybe she was hitting him and accidentally he pulled the trigger, or he was literally maybe just trying to shoot the floor to get her to stop beating on him. But it was also,
hey man,
she had a video from I don't know how long ago that was addressing her mugshot and a domestic violence charge that people were saying it was her that beat her mom. But she came out to clarify things and said, no, it was actually her beating up her ex-boyfriend. And they were at South by Southwest. She was drinking. She likes to turn up. That's what she does.
Yeah, it said she can't handle her liquor that much.
That's
what
other people were saying.
Yeah.
She didn't say that, but she did say that that's what she went to jail for putting hands on her ex-boyfriend.
Man, you already got a history of
does.
putting hands on people, so she looked like she could fight. So
especially when you have a dude that's that small, I don't think she was not just like tapping him. They weren't love taps.
They said, well, different sources said that he was getting violated. Like, it was looking embarrassing, so he had to do something because she was violating him.
It brings the question why he would even feel like it's necessary to have a gun on him when you're going to an event like that, when you're going somewhere like that, unless you know that she gets crazy like that. Like, you can get a bodyguard when you're with her if you're worried about your guys' safety.
Man.
But a gun is kind of like, for you to be that big of...
First of all, you got security. That's what security for. When you at that status, you shouldn't be carrying no strap to protect yourself, especially in those kind of environments. Now, if you want to do it because you're in a place where you know something can go down and that's what you want to do, okay. But you got security. Security is there to handle that. If they were getting into it, security should have broke all that up. That wouldn't have never went nowhere. It would have just been done. She could have been trying to violate him. Security would have been like,
well, that would be him having to have a bodyguard with them.
Huh?
That would be him having to hire a bodyguard because
that's
they were
at that's what
Kylie Jenner's house. So if she had security there, they're not in the car with them.
Yeah, but
he
still
needs security, obviously.
I'm talking about Megan has security as well, but that night her guy wasn't around anywhere. He wasn't nowhere to be found.
Probably because she had Tory.
Yeah, well, I mean, she probably was just like, she didn't feel like it was nothing that, I guess it wasn't needed, but she's got her own security detail. Tory Lanez need to have security, man. That's just point blank period. Once you get to a certain status, you gotta have things in place to protect yourself and protect your brand. You might have somebody that want to test you tonight so that they can get a lawsuit. They can try to sue you. So have your security go in there and handle that. So that's what they're for, man. So yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna come out, but he ain't said a word. He ain't had his little what they call that thing he does. He got this thing on Instagram. I forgot what they call it, but it's something like dance thing where it's something radio he calls it, but it's the same thing that Boosie was doing when coronavirus just started. It was kind of like all different girls would go on his live and he would go live, and then he would just have girls doing all kind of crazy stuff to the point they were shutting his page down and everything. So he ain't been live ever since that event.
Yeah, he might be having to lick them wounds. And
his face might be busted up. He might be busted up, man. Ain't no telling. He might be jacked up. So
yeah, so it was actually confirmed by Tory and Megan's friend that she was drunk and jealous when Kylie started flirting with him. And that's when, the stallion standing at 5 feet 10 inches, weighing nearly 200 pounds.
Well, she should have been getting she should have been getting that Kylie instead of
oh, even
Tory Lanez.
Kylie, she would have pummeled her.
Oh yeah, but that just would have been, female scrap, But I don't know. I don't know the situation. I won't dare. But That bro ain't had no
Does
chance.
it speak volumes that her best friend is telling the same story as Tory?
Yeah, I mean, she basically like, yeah, that girl get busy. I mean, I ain't gonna sit here and lie to you. Yeah, she fight. She can't handle her liquor like that. And things just got heated. But it shouldn't have.
But that goes against what Megan is.
Well, what I'm saying, it makes it so that Megan don't seem credible either. You know what I'm saying? Like she's lying.
She's not the only victim in the situation.
Yeah, right. And then that could put him.
Actually was retaliation to what she did.
Yeah, and it could definitely put Tory in a bad spot.
But that's supposed to be her best friend, though. So I mean,
man, shoot,
it is Hollywood. It is kind of crazy. So I don't think you can rule out the fact that the best friend might be trying to get some clout.
Yep.
Or maybe Tory reached out and promised some things.
Man, I'm telling you.
Or her best friend could have just been like, look, she was in the wrong. This is the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, don't have him out here looking bad because...
Just correct it.
Right.
Fix it. I mean, don't go too far. I mean,
don't say
I don't know.
It was, don't play the whole victim role when he's also a victim of your crime.
Initially, she wasn't trying to cooperate, and then she started cooperating, so...
Well, she was cooperating, but she just said that it was a misfire, that it,
Yeah. What I'm saying now is she's trying to say it was Tory doing whatever, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so taking it a little bit further. And now she the butt of a lot of people's jokes, and so she not feeling that either, so. But Tory is too, man. Especially now that they saying she put the paws on him. So. She
might have told Tory, same thing I tell you. The only way out is in a box.
Yeah.
He took that. He was scared that night.
Yeah.
I'm joking when I tell you, but.
Bruh, I don't think you're joking.
Well, we ain't getting no divorce, so I mean, yeah.
I don't think you're joking at all. But yeah. But that, man, that's crazy.
Well, she does have it on her record, and then, in order for Tory to prove self-defense, he just has to prove that, Megan had the ability to seriously hurt him. So with just that picture painted
just the size. Just
Tory
the size
Lanez
difference.
up against John Jones or Tory Lanez up against, young Evander Holyfield, that says enough. Even though
she just
there is
sat
a
on
difference, like you said, between, man strength and woman strength.
Yeah, she could have just sat on him.
Really, at the end of the day, height and weight matters in the fight.
Yeah, she could have just sat on him like a stallion.
She could have been up on her knees on that passenger seat.
She could have sat on his butt.
Going in.
Yep, and it'd have been a wrap.
So I think one of the things that
now I'm trying to imagine. Was he driving?
He was in the he was on the driver's side.
Man, now I'm trying to imagine how little he is in the car.
Well, you know how you do. You have to put the seat all the way up.
No, I only put the seat. I put the seat up because you drop it so low. You got the seat all the way down because your booty's so high. So your booty sit up. You sit up. You sit up so high. I gotta put the thing up. I'm taller than you though. So ain't you know what I mean? We ain't trying to play me out here. Like I'm 5'3". Let's not do that.
Well, if it does get ruled that the gun use was justified,
I'm 6 feet.
Steve, not 6 feet, give it up. If his gun use was justified, it could potentially open the door for more serious legal ramifications for the stallion, similar to those, reminiscent that Chris Brown faced when he was entangled with Rihanna.
Damn word, entanglement.
I said entangled. I didn't say entanglement. So obviously this story isn't over yet. So we'll probably, keep updates with that and see what else develops. But on to the next.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
So a couple months back we watched the Netflix documentary.
The Netflix
documentary. Jeffery Epstein Filthy Rich.
Oh man, yeah, buddy.
That was a rabbit hole, and we totally took the dive, still taking the dive. It was basically about how he and his island, Little St. James, were basically the epicenter for sex trafficking of minors for the rich and famous.
Yeah, definitely.
It explained who he is. If you don't know, you guys should take a look at it. It explains how he got his money, what crimes he committed, the people he was affiliated with.
The Pipples.
The Pipples. including the recently caught and arrested Ghislaine Maxwell. So, it also explains how he got away with the first crime and then eventually how it led to his 2019 imprisonment and his death behind bars, ruled a suicide with a unique perfect storm of events that cannot confirm foul play was not involved. So, whether or not, you guys watch it and you believe it was suicide, we don't feel like it was suicide. Nah, it was just it's kind of crazy how everything falls in line.
Yeah. Way too many coincidences that happen over and over and over again, the same kind of way. It just lines up perfectly. Like, okay, not only that.
Prison guards sleep, both of them sleep.
Yeah.
Cameras not working.
Yep. And then to top it off, which I think there was something that said he, there was a funeral. There was a funeral, but that was as big as his arrest was. That funeral after
it took months.
The funeral afterwards was like, where is that? What's going on with this funeral?
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't something that was even really widely publicized. Was his funeral, and it was like, okay, well, dang, man,
He and Ghislaine were involved with a wide range of people, from movies and music, politicians, royals, business moguls, philanthropists, and charitable organizations.
Everybody.
So, there is a lot of people who don't want him talking, who don't want him behind bars, who want to see him dead versus them where he's at.
Man, it's a whole lot of people. And he was a billionaire or multi-billionaire. So you got to think, when you got that kind of money, and you got a lot of friends as well when you have that kind of money. Bruh, come on, man. They know a lot about each other. And it was already well known that on his logs, his flight logs
to his island.
His flight logs, there were a lot of prominent names that frequented the island on a regular basis, man. They were there.
Bill Clinton's name was on there 11 times.
Yeah, like crazy, man. Yeah, a lot of people, man. So
Trump was on there.
Definitely a lot of the royals were there a lot.
Beyonce was on there.
Yeah, I heard Beyonce was there too. So,
not saying that everybody was involved or knew what was going on.
Right.
But the way that it seems is like people played out like they've seen it. They've seen the young girls. They knew, like, some of them just looked way too young to be there.
Oh, man. Yeah, you watch that documentary, man. It goes over, even people that were working there on the grounds. They were like, yo, I seen some inappropriate things myself, people that were working on the telecommunications on the island and stuff, the cellular networks and all that. Yeah, groundskeepers. So, but yeah, man, there's quite a few documentaries actually. Like even if you wanted to get more information on everything that was going on, there's the Fall Cabal documentary, which is it's spelled FALLCABAL.
It's on YouTube.
That was on YouTube. If you type it in, Fall Cabal documentary, it should pop up. It's about 2 hours long, and if you don't find the full one, there are like parts broken up, and it goes over the Pizzagate stuff, which all ties in the pedophilia thing. And it's sickening, man. If you really watch it, you can look at it and you can see it's not even really conspiracy theory driven. It's driven by so much fact and so much proof.
That's the crazy part about it.
It makes it's unbelievable, man. These people are doing it right in front of people's faces. And I know you guys are familiar with the Wayfair thing, or some of you guys may be. There's this whole there's this whole thing about Wayfair and there being pedophilia through their website.
They're being accused of child trafficking.
Right. And what's interesting about that is that the owner or the CEO is also he was also friends with Jeffrey Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
He was very close friends with Jeffrey Epstein, actually. And so it just starts to get kind of crazy where it seems like the rabbit hole goes deep because it's too many coincidences. It's too many situations where everyone are linked together. It's the same group of people, and it just turns out that it appears to be like it's a small clique of them, but it always still goes back to the same group every time. So
yeah, so with the Wayfair thing, what was happening with Wayfair was they had household items like throw pillows and cabinets and things like that that were named after some missing children, but they were also being sold for outrageous prices. So a pillow being sold for $9,999. There's a regular cabinet being sold for well over $12,000. Things like that. And so when you look at the price and then they took the SKU numbers, some people would take the SKU numbers and they were putting them into Russian servers, and it was bringing up pictures of children that were half dressed or just in their underwear. Some of them in sexually suggestive poses.
Yeah. Almost all of them, really. Majority of them were like that.
There were some pillows specifically sold from Ellen DeGeneres and her line of homeware or whatever she has. And she's also been linked to that child sex trafficking and pedophilia and all that other stuff. So it is crazy. But this week, what happened in relation to the Jeffrey Epstein was the judge Esther Salas, her 20-year-old son and husband were gunned down in their home, which she was safe because she was in another room in the basement. And it was a FedEx man, or a man posing as a FedEx driver, delivery person, who broke in and shot the son dead and then seriously wounded her husband. But she was just assigned the case dealing with, I don't know how to pronounce the bank, Deutsche Bank, brought by its investors for the handling of the financial matters dealing with Epstein during, all of his nastiness. So the gunman was revealed as being Roy Den Hollander, and he's an attorney who is now being reported as being openly misogynistic and anti-feminism. He conveniently died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head with a box that was next to him that linked him to another murder in California that fit the same MO as the one that was used for this murder, which was murder by FedEx man. So how convenient that he's giving them all of this stuff. Plus there was a hit list in his home listing other judges. It's like, for him to be a lawyer and he has a hit list, then he's going to kill himself before he gets through everybody in his hit list when he already got away with one murder in California. Like, I don't think he's that dumb to do that. So it kind of raises more questions.
Man, all of that stuff, it's I'm gonna tell you, man, it's scary, man. It's crazy to think that you can literally have a FedEx driver come roll up to deliver your package and then bam, it's a wrap.
Or somebody posing as a FedEx driver.
Oh yeah, or posing, yeah, you know what I mean?
Because he really wasn't a FedEx driver.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, he wasn't. I'm saying he wasn't, but I mean, you know what I mean. But I know he's not an actual driver, but I'm saying by him posing, that guy didn't know he wasn't a driver. So he's thinking this is a FedEx person. Or
even the community around.
Yeah, he's just thinking this is a FedEx driver coming. So, for him, it's like, oh, so.
But I want to know how he got that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. All of that stuff is crazy. So I have no idea. But
you pay somebody to use the FedEx truck?
Man, that's what.
Buy somebody's uniform?
That's all I'm saying. All of that stuff is crazy, and it's that's pretty scary, man. That's definitely like a movie. You know what I mean? Like
everything that's happening right now is like literally like script material.
Yeah, it's like watching a movie, man.
But even in the Fall Cabal, they go over what the FBI or the CIA controls what comes out, and they swing the narrative of movies to make you question certain things and not question
Fall
other things.
Cabal
and
is
make
a
people
dope documentary.
Who research, go through, be labeled as conspiracy theorists and try to make them seem, not credible.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. That the Falcon Ball, man, is dope. I mean, that one, there's another one called Above Majestic, which is also fire documentary. It kind of starts off a little bit slow, but as it goes more in depth,
it gets crazy.
It gets crazy, man. It definitely starts talking about that adrenochrome stuff, which I don't know if you guys are aware about what that is, but it has to deal with the pedophilia and why why that is such a huge thing. The pedophilia is such a huge thing because there's the adrenaline in a child's body, and usually I think it's the strongest when you're at what age, like 3 to 5,
3 to 10, or 3 to 11.
3 to 11. When there's so much fear that you can produce in a child, their adrenaline is pumping so much that there's adrenochrome that they can pull out of that child,
their blood,
out of their blood, when when they're at their peak fear. And so they get these children and they do all these rituals and stuff like that, and then of course they sacrifice or kill these children, and they draw their blood, and then that stuff is something that they use to stay young and drink. And
that's disgusting.
And if you really look into it, it's like a youth serum, and it's a real thing, man. It's not it's you can look up adrenochrome, you can look up the benefits of adrenochrome. It's like something that people really is like highly sought after. But if you looking to do some research on it, you'll come to find out that a lot of celebrities and royals and other people have been linked to using adrenochrome, knowing what adrenochrome is, and how it's produced. So even the people that are not actually doing the sacrificing still utilizes adrenochrome, and they put it in their on their skin, in their bodies or whatever, and it gives off this reaction, and most of the people that take
like a high that they get from it too.
Well, it does that.
Feeling.
Yep. And if you do research on it, you'll see pictures of celebrities with like it look like they have like a black eye, and that's supposedly a like a side effect. So it but anyways, it's the pedophilia stuff, man, it's scary. And it also even
children, 800,000 children go missing in the U.S.
Oh, even the the Amber Alert, the CEO of the Amber Alert is she's, I think, tied to Jeffrey Epstein by I can't remember. No, not Jeffrey Epstein. She's employed by Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton employed her when they were trying to go into Haiti, and they were said to have taken children out of Haiti. And then what she did was she employed this lady and put her in that position to be the head of
the Amber Alert.
The Amber Alert. So
and they're the ones that go and put out what kid gets alerted.
Yeah, who took them and what? So how can you
when
even
they're
trust?
Released,
how
long until they're reported before the alert is actually sent out. So they're not necessarily always right away.
It's crazy.
Sometimes there's a waiting period.
It's like, how can you even trust the Amber Alert knowing that even the foundation of it and the people that are in charge of it
are corrupted.
And they got so many allegations, alleged allegations. Hillary Clinton for sure. That what is it? Frazzle drip. Yeah, Frazzle drip. You guys can hashtag that. I think it's spelled, what is it? FRIZZLE drip.
Yeah.
Or is it A? Frazzle.
It could be
Frizzle
I
drip.
don't know.
It's either frazzle or frizzle drip, but it's ridiculous. It's about some kind of video that went out, and it was supposedly Hillary Clinton.
Anthony Weiner's laptop.
Yeah, Anthony Weiner.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about that Weiner?
And it was a folder in it that was listed life insurance.
Right.
And it was a video of Hillary and another one of her close affiliates.
Right.
I can't remember her name. torturing a young girl.
Yeah.
And they basically take like a scalpel or something and they cut off her face.
Yeah,
this girl is like, she's
bruh.
being just, yeah.
Yep. There's supposed there have been claims that that information or that video was given to some local police officers or a police NYPD, and all of those men that were assigned to the case, I think those men didn't. Most of those men get killed, or
I think majority of the people working that case are dead now.
Most of them that work in that case are dead, which is crazy.
Yeah.
A lot of them that also saw the video, they said they had to go through like
some of them were vomiting, crying,
a psychiatric
needed to go and get therapy.
Evaluation and therapy because the video was so intense and heinous. So there have been people that have been trying to debunk it and saying it's a snuff film and it's not really Hillary Clinton, and then there are people that are saying this is absolutely true and this is from from higher up in the people,
authority figures.
Yeah, but
working.
It's some stuff going on, you guys, man. I don't know if you guys are aware about it, but it is I mean, this was probably about a year or so ago. Not a year or so ago. What am I talking about? A few months ago, but there is a active investigation on a lot of different people, and it's I don't have all of the facts as far as the case name and all of that stuff, but there's indictments for all of these prominent people that's been happening right around the same time as the coronavirus outbreak started and pandemic started, and it's prominent names like huge companies like Google, Tesla, and it has to do with multiple things.
Clinton Foundation.
Yeah, Clinton Foundation. They've been in court. A lot of these people have been in court throughout this period of time. You haven't really seen them that much, and I don't know if you guys have seen videos of people saying, "Well, man, why is this person wearing a house arrest bracelet?" They've been talking about Ellen DeGeneres because she's been at home and she's wearing house arrest bracelets. Tom Hanks, he's been on house arrest, and there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there, but there is a lot of factual information that you guys can research yourself and find out that there is an actual case number that has all of their information on it. I don't know the name of the actual case number and where to look for it. I found it months back. From a YouTube video that I was researching and found it on.
Maybe if we find it, we'll post it.
But yeah, if we find it, maybe we can post the details. But hey, man, it's right now everyone's at home that's not working.
A lot of these celebrities have to do everything at home too now. They're shooting their shows at home.
Yeah, so if you at home, man, educate yourself on some of these things that's going on because it impacts everybody, because right now I think there's like a huge shakedown. I think there's I know there's at least 1,200 indictments, and these are all huge prominent players, and some of it's for artificial intelligence. It's like using artificial intelligence to harm people. Like, that's all stuff that's in this document. That's why Tesla's in there. That's why Google's in there, and some other.
I think Obama's named in there.
Obama's in it as well. I don't know for what, but
it says the charges on there too.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't remember.
There's a list of them.
Yeah, I don't remember.
There is a list on that.
Yeah.
That goes out, but I think I brought up to you yesterday too.
Oprah's on there for sure. Oprah's on that. So there's a lot.
Which reminds me, bringing up Oprah. Because Oprah owns homes,
right,
or home in Hawaii, and Hawaii is experiencing now, or has been, a lot of child abductions.
Yeah.
And some of the kids are runaways, but not all of them are runaways. Don't know where these kids are going. But there's a lot of celebrities that own a lot of houses in Hawaii. I told you about, what's his name?
Mark
Zuckerberg, his 750-acre compound on Kauai, and he's trying to force out the people who live in the surrounding areas, and he wants the land, and he's doing it in a way that is on the low. He had pulled it a couple years back, but now it's back up again. You can hide a lot of things on 750 acres.
Yeah.
And he actually, I think, it's also affiliated with Epstein. I think I looked into that, and he is.
I know he's been on the island.
But he's on the flight log.
Yeah, he's been on the flight log.
And he went to the island. He had a tweet that he had deleted that had resurfaced.
He said he never been on the island.
I think he said he was either at a party or he was on the island or he was somewhere with Jeffrey Epstein, and he had posted a tweet that was referencing he doesn't know what's going on here, but he's really like freaking enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
couldn't wait to do it again.
This information, this Jeffrey Epstein situation, along with all of these different documentaries speaking about pedophilia, and then of course the stuff that we've seen, I think people have even mentioned Corey Feldman.
He's been saying this for years.
Yeah, just different stuff like that. People have been talking about the biggest thing in Hollywood. That's the biggest and secret, is pedophilia, and so how a lot of Disney stars they end up going kind of cuckoo crazy as they get older. I mean, man, it gets to a point where it's pretty scary. It makes you think that, because I think pedophilia or pedophiles are supposedly only represent 1% of the population in the United States. It makes you feel like it's a lot more than 1%. But 1% is still a lot.
If that 1% or within that 1%, a lot of them are at the tip-top levels
power
of
right,
things.
Right. Yeah.
And they have all of the
juice, yeah.
Exactly. They have all the money they need.
Yeah.
They have all the leverage they need. And that's another thing that they go into, right?
Yeah.
Is that they videotape other people doing these things to these kids. And they tell them you either do it and we videotape you while you do it, or you're just out the club, period, we're going to ruin you.
Yeah. It makes you think about all the movies that you watch and stuff like that. That those things are not far-fetched from happening in real life.
No,
like,
it's crazy because
that's
the
the scary part.
that come up, like you can literally think about movies like the Tom Cruise movie.
Right.
Where they're all wearing the masks and they're having these orgies and everything.
Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eyes Wide Shut was one of them.
And the way it ends is just like, whoa, wait, what?
Yeah.
The whole movie is a trip, but it's like, where do they think this stuff up from?
Yep.
So obviously a lot of people write from experience.
And it was with fact. Yeah.
So, I mean, or they use urban legend.
Yeah, right.
And I don't think at this point that all of that stuff can be tossed out the window like urban legend, and it was just creative. There's so much.
There's too many coincidences, but those are all just like if you guys want to just sit back, kind of chill, and just get some information. It's not all on pedophilia. It's other things as well, but it's interesting, man. It's definitely, if you guys are into just absorbing information, whether you take the information for fact or you just look to learn about new things, man, I would say to check both of those out. Above Majestic and Falkaball. There's another one, I can't remember the name of it. It's like the one with the
COVID thing?
Yeah, that one. Oh, I think that's called Plandemic. Mm-hmm. That one which talks about COVID-19 and the vaccine stuff.
Are you talking about the one for Wayfair?
No, there's one with that guy that was, remember he was like a stuntman, that documentary? He was a stuntman, and he started talking. I can't remember the name of that one. That was good also, but
we'll post it on.
Yeah, well, I'll put it on the page so you guys could at least on YouTube, our YouTube channel, which is for our new listeners on Spotify.
Oh, yep.
And
Spotify,
Google Podcasts,
Pocket Cast, Breaker, and Radio Public.
Yep.
All of those platforms now.
Yep. You guys can find us at Rerandom TV on
Instagram.
And
We Random just at Facebook.
Yeah, and also our YouTube channel, which is
Rerandom TV.
Yeah, Rerandom TV, and all the information about what we're talking about. We'll go and try to post those links to some of that stuff where you guys can look it up. So, definitely, man.
It makes you a little concerned. At least it makes me a little concerned about how America really cares for the children in its
Man,
nation.
it's scary, man. I'm for real.
If
It
these
made
people
me
are
think
at
a
the tip
lot.
tops, like, then the only thing that I can like really pull from just to go to show it is kind of what's happening with the COVID and how they're trying to push kids to go back to school.
Yeah, it's like, yo, you gonna have my kids be guinea pigs? Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't think
Nah,
I'm
you
gonna
ain't about
send
to
my
send
child
my
as
kid
tribute.
out here to try to see how this gonna work.
I mean, for the parents who are going to do it, that's a hard decision to make. I commend you.
Hey, man.
But for my child, our child, for this school that they're going to, there's so many unanswered questions. It is one of those
And you
things that it's
can't-
like, I can't allow her to go because
can't
you have not
control.
answered these simple questions for me.
You can't control how these, and the thing is, you cannot control what these kids are gonna do.
Oh,
so
no.
you're gonna go in there and you got this one kid that wants to cough on everybody,
Yeah.
or that wants to be,
Funny.
called and be funny. Nah,
Yeah,
nope.
I can't do it.
Yeah, that ain't
I
gonna
mean,
work.
and then you got Trump, right, who said, with young children and children, we'd like to see the schools open early next season and on time. It's incredible how it's very unique how the children aren't affected, but people that have problems are, and older people are, I don't know, he wasn't really talking very clearly, but can be very badly hurt, injured, or die from this problem. I kind of get what he's talking about, but there are children who have died from it.
Yeah, what is he saying though?
He's trying to say that the kids aren't, like, children aren't as susceptible, or he was implying that children aren't as susceptible to the disease as old people. Everybody is susceptible to it, just some people are more at risk of dying
This is the thing.
from it.
This is the thing that makes everything that's been said just a bunch of BS. If you go to that school, the kids are at that school. Yes, okay, the kids may just catch a little cold, may have some sniffles, right? Those kids come home. Now you got to deal with adults at home and whoever. Maybe grandparents that's watching these kids, may not be whatever. Whoever is their guardian. That person is now susceptible to catching the disease that's being spread at the freaking school because these kids that we shouldn't worry about them because they're not going to die. It's like, that makes zero sense. They keep telling everybody wear a mask. You need to wear the mask so you can protect the people that are susceptible to catching it.
Right.
All this stuff that it's like, so why would you send kids to the school so these kids can have the symptoms and then actually catch it? And then, boom, they taking it home. And now you got somebody at home that may be high risk. And this person now catches it and then it spreads within the house.
It's either something they want you to worry about or it's not.
Yeah,
they can't ride
come on, bro.
and change when it suits them. So obviously they need certain funding and school needs funding.
But
so they're pushing for people
economy.
to come. They need it for the economy. They need kids to go to school so parents can go to work and get out and do other things so they don't have to sit at home with the children.
Right.
And they don't want the parents to worry while they're at school because they want them to know that they're safe.
The sad part about it is that with everything that's going on, I've been watching different YouTubers that are like doing daily news about stimulus and what's happening with the economy, and the overall consensus from just the comments that I'm reading, everybody's like, yo, what the heck is going on? Like, you want us to... Nobody wanted this to happen, obviously. Nobody was expecting to lose their jobs. None of these businesses were expecting not to
close permanently.
Not to be able to stay open. They went from maybe having a great year to all of a sudden having to close down because they can't afford to keep it open, because now you want us to do it at 50% capacity.
Less than that even.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, even when it got to that point, it was still like, how do I continue running at 50% capacity?
Yeah, when you need a full house and you need it consistently.
And then I got a staff, and then you want to give me a PPP loan so that I can keep my employees on payroll.
But you got to add in there now, there was a meat shortage during that time.
Right.
There's toilet paper shortages. There's cleaning supply shortages.
Right.
And then when you take it to states like Hawaii, who's just an island in the middle of the sea, who can't get access to all of these things, prices shoot up.
Man.
You can't pay rent.
Yeah, Hawaii, like we were talking about, Hawaii.
They're number one for businesses who are
business.
temporary and permanently closed businesses.
Yeah.
And like,
and plus, Hawaii is huge on
tourism.
Tourism, so nobody's coming through. Like
Hawaii
hospitality, all of that.
Hawaii needs its own.
They need a bailout just for Hawaii.
The whole state.
Yeah.
They need to look at Hawaii as its own little entity right now because the cost of living is so high. I mean, I know that they're born and raised.
Yeah.
It's too much. When you add all of this stuff on, even with the extra money that you might be getting, that's going to end soon from the unemployment.
Right.
It's not. You can't even go out and spend it like that when you don't know if you're going to have a job. You don't know when this unemployment is going to go out. You can't run your business. You can't even operate your business. You can't go. What's the point of being able to run at 20, 30, 40%?
You keep going. You keep going at this pace.
You're going to kill your bank account trying to do that. So you have to bow out before you lose everything.
Yo, not even just that. It could be that they're going to continue because there are already a lot of people from Hawaii that are leaving Hawaii going to like Vegas and other places. Been the case, but
I have way more friends now that are absolutely leaving and
I'm saying now
they're being forced out.
I'm saying right now that's what it looks like. It's just like they're going to be, especially with this whole pandemic, man.
They're changing Hawaii
push
to
them
be
out anyway.
Here for the millionaires, billionaires, and
the
very few and far in between.
Trash.
And the people who really deserve and love and want to be there, and you're going to lose the culture. You're going to lose the people who the culture lives in, who the island represents the island the way the island should be represented.
Yeah.
So it's super sad. So I mean, and even now I know friends and family who are keeping their kids home, but the kids want to go to school, so it's a hard decision to make. And then you have people at home who are super high risk. So like, sorry, babe, you can't go to school because grandma cannot get sick. Yeah. Grandpa can't get sick. Yeah. Like, we can't take that risk.
What I hope, and the country has to take the necessary precautions, so you can't be mad at them. But what I really hope is that this, like AIDS and like the other different diseases that came before it, AIDS being a virus obviously is sexually transmitted, but when AIDS first came out, it wasn't like they didn't have enough information. Like, I thought I could touch somebody if they might have had like a nick on their, they had like a nick or open sore that they could touch a cup, and I'm gonna grab that cup and I got it. Right. So, because I had a cousin, man, he came over to the crib one time. And he drank out a couple of them glasses. I was like a scientist, bro. Like it was like radioactive. I didn't want to touch it. I had put gloves on, grabbed the glass, took it outside, threw it in the trash.
You're terrible.
Straight up. Nobody knew what was really going on with it. And that's kind of, in a way, what's going on here. And I really hope that you didn't have that situation, though, with AIDS where people weren't working, people didn't get jobs. I mean, the NBA was still playing ball. All of that stuff, even though Magic Johnson came with it. People were still playing basketball and all that. So what I'm saying is, I just hope that it doesn't come back, that there was a lot of things that were being done. There was an agenda behind it. Like, all the stuff, all the stuff that we're finding out, all the stuff that we're hearing about, the extra, somebody being.
Do you remember that whole Agenda 21 thing?
Oh, yeah.
So you guys don't know, it's Agenda 21. You look it up, and it's about sustaining the earth or your nation. And part of that is population control.
Yeah.
So how to have a more sustaining population. And parts of it makes you wonder if the COVID-19 was rolled out in a way to get rid of the weaker individuals. So I have some homeboys in Hawaii that do a podcast. It is what it is, 808. They talk about, the baby boomers and how these guys are the most susceptible ones. Well, baby boomer ages is from anybody born from, I think it was like 1946 to 1964.
Yeah.
So my mom falls into that bracket.
Right.
I mean, but so does my grandfather. He's before that. I think it's the generation before that also.
Right.
They have, they have Social Security. So that's extra money, right? If these guys pass away from it, that doesn't have to be dished out from the government. So tons of them are dying.
Yeah.
And it's being marked as COVID deaths.
Right.
As long as they tested positive at the time of death, that's what they're ruling it as.
And that's the thing.
They could have died from anything else, a car accident, a motorcycle accident. We went over that last episode. But it's just crazy because when you think about it, there has to absolutely be an agenda behind this because it doesn't make sense, but the lawmakers and everybody don't seem as stressed out as the regular working class is.
Yeah.
Because it's like, we were just saying, they're going to go on recess. They need to vote on all of this stimulus stuff and what's going to happen to the rest of us who can't get work, can't find work, can't go back to work.
Yeah.
So you guys are worried about going to recess and taking a month off. And we don't even know how we're going to eat for the next 2 months.
The urgency is if it's not a pandemic, as if the people, like, it's not, I think
Trump
on the 25th,
wasn't even wearing a mask all this time.
Yeah, Trump hasn't been wearing a mask.
He wore a mask like 2 times.
On the 25th, they just ended the eviction thing that was going out so that could protect people from being evicted from their homes. So now they got to try to hurry up and get something passed or get through negotiations with the Democrats so that they can go ahead and pass a bill just to try to protect people that potentially could be evicted, which is going to make a crazy foreclosure situation, mortgage situation. I'm just saying, man, like, it's so sad to look at these other countries that are doing so much for the people of the country. And I know we have a lot more people, and that's an argument everyone is using. But, man, come on, a $1,200 check, we've bailed out. We're paying that money back with our tax dollars. So at the end of the day, I'm bailing out. I'm helping to bail out these businesses. And then at the end of the day, this money is still going to come out of my income taxes.
Have to pay, yeah. You have to pay
so it's not like the
it.
money's not going to get paid back. It's just going to take time to get paid back. Yeah. And right now, you got the Federal Reserve is already like, look, man, the interest rates are almost at 0%. Like, this is the best time to borrow money. Borrow money right now while interest rate is super low, and then don't worry about overspending. And all of
these well-off politicians who ain't even worried about it.
They getting paid $200,000, $300,000 a year.
Stop them from getting paid.
Man, it needs to be a law.
Until they can figure all of this stuff out. You guys don't collect no checks, no nothing until this is done.
There needs to
Watch how fast this work is done.
Right, and there needs to be a law in place now after seeing what's going on that they can't, if there's ever a situation or a crisis in this matter, they can't go on no freaking vacation. That is absolutely ridiculous.
No recess.
Come
Stay
on,
your
man.
ass there and work this out.
Yeah, get it
Plus,
done.
you guys probably shouldn't get paid if it takes over a week. Hey, nah, you ain't getting paid because now we need to pay to put you up in a house here. We need to pay for you while you here. We need to pay for all of this stuff while you here. So you ain't getting paid.
This is what's crazy. The Democrats passed the HEROES Act bill. And 2.5 months ago. 2.5 months ago, they passed it, and the Republicans are just now, they're not even negotiating yet. They just now are presenting their version of the bill so they can negotiate. So it took them 2.5 months to just to come up with a version or a bill. And now they kept saying all this stuff they had that they were going to be doing. And majority of the stuff that's in the bill, a lot of it is the same stuff that was already in the HEROES Act.
Does it take?
So it gets to a point where it's like you guys are saying y'all want to get stuff done fast, but then y'all say first they were saying we want to take our time, we want to check the job numbers, we want to see what's going on. Now, as the cases are spiking and going back up, and the businesses are closing down again,
states are closing
and states are starting to close down again. Now you know we're at another point where it's getting crazy. And on top of that, it's not even the fall yet. everything was being said that the cases were going to slow down when we hit the summer because it was going to get so hot.
It's going to be hot, and then
but
the virus can't survive.
But people ain't wearing masks, man. Everybody out here, it's like Freaknik in Miami. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. In Miami, Atlanta like for sure.
People don't care until they catch it.
Atlanta be tripping.
They don't even go and get tested to find out if they got it or not.
Man, everybody out here like it ain't no big deal, and they just passing it around. And the virus is very real. In regards to the deaths and how the deaths are playing up, I can't say that those are facts. I can say that I know that the virus is a very real thing. People are
know somebody who got it.
Yeah, people are catching the virus. I know a few people that actually had the virus.
Yep.
But in regards to the deaths and how many people are dying daily, to say that 1,000 deaths a day, like for me that seems like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, that's something that happens all the time.
Yeah,
that's a normal number in regards to deaths for people every day, and it's sad to know that many people are dying like that, anyways.
Yeah.
But to now put it in your face every day, it gives you a whole nother perspective. So, dang, 1,000 people are dying a day, and then you saying they're dying of coronavirus, and knowing that all these people. There are cases that are out there that are blatant, that are showing that this person did not die of COVID-19. This person might have died from pre-existing conditions they had already had, but COVID-19 was in this person's system. This person could have had a freaking heart attack or whatever, and after this person had a heart attack, they test the person to see if they had COVID-19. Yes, well, they had COVID-19. Well, we don't know if COVID-19 could have potentially contributed to the heart attack.
Stop testing the dead people.
If you don't know all the facts, but yet they are putting down these deaths as COVID-19 deaths, automatic, man. It's so many.
I think it's even if they have the antibodies in them.
It's so many cases with that. So it's like you know how many deaths that's gonna be? I mean, that's gonna be a lot.
Basically, everybody who's dying now is dying from COVID.
Basically, that's it. Like, where's the flu deaths? I don't know. I think the flu deaths are in the mix with the COVID deaths.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Flu normally kills 70,000 people a year.
You can get a positive test in just having the traditional flu.
Yeah.
Like, it can give you a positive COVID, and you might not even have it. So, there is no more flu right now. All that it is COVID. There's no other
Nobody is, when they go in the hospital, ain't nobody dying of no flu. No. It's just the coronavirus.
No.
I'm not putting it down as no flu death. And then there's supposed to be kickbacks or something that they're saying some of these people are getting, if they put somebody on a ventilator, Medicaid is paying out certain, they're paying out like $13,000 or $31,000, something crazy if you get somebody on a ventilator. Just to put them on a ventilator, they might not even need it. But if you put them on that ventilator, then you're going to get an extra kickback. Like, man, it's incentivizing these people to do these. It's incentivizing people to do certain things, man. And it just gets to a point where it's a lot of corruptness and it's a lot of greed. And unfortunately, it's sad, man. It's almost like, man, it's unbelievable. But we've kind of created these monsters in the society where everybody now is all for themselves. They don't have any compassion for other people. So, man, that's why we wanted to get on the podcast and talk and just get our point of view across to people. Like, man, we talk about things all the time, but it's like, hey, why don't we just get on a podcast?
Everybody has one now. Might
as well get on there, talk about what we already talk about anyway.
Add value to this market.
Yeah, let's add value to other people's lives that we feel like, it would help,
I don't mind giving people a laugh. I think we've had a pretty good attitude all this time.
So that's really what it's all about, man.
What it is.
Yeah, you got to make the best. We're making the best of it for sure. And that's all you really can do, man. So, but check out all that stuff we were talking about, y'all, man. Y'all get some time.
We'll put it up on the social medias.
Yeah, we got y'all on that.
You have any other final thoughts?
Not really, man. I don't got no final thoughts.
Anything else you want to talk about?
I'm trying to think, man. Anything else that we missed that was Talked about Kanye.
You know, Ghislaine Maxwell, didn't you say?
What?
Where did you find this? Because I thought it was kind of funny. You said they were taking bets on how she was going to die?
Oh, yeah.
This
was, I think it was Vegas. It was
I need my
it
Vegas people to comment and let us know, please.
I think it
Where
was
can
Vegas.
You put a bet in?
It might. I don't know if it was. It was. I think it was Vegas, or it might have been an online betting system thing. It was something, and all I know was I was like, "Yo, they literally got bets on how she's gonna die, yo." And it's not something to joke about because you don't want. You know what I'm saying. I don't want the lady to die because
I absolutely want her to stay alive.
First of all, if she dies, then a lot of this information is gonna go with her.
Exactly. Why
and
they want her dead.
That's probably why they would want that to happen. But
I said they need to put her in the White House next to Trump.
Dude, they need 24/7 surveillance where we the people can log online.
Yep, and see
and
that she's
see
still
her
alive.
living.
Absolutely.
And we can monitor her as well. And if something is out of pocket, we can say, hey, you know, man, like she needs to be.
That. We can see it all the time.
Man,
take her to the White House.
Live feed.
If they can keep Trump alive all this time, they can keep her alive all this time.
Man, yep. Yeah, I'm telling you, man,
House.
a live feed on that lady because
the Secret Service can't keep her alive. Why Trump gotta hope?
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you one thing that I did read an article where they said what does she have on Trump, because the ironic.
Together.
Yeah, well, he's also pictured with Epstein quite a bit. But the ironic thing about, well, I guess not. Yeah, I would say the ironic thing about it is, usually Trump, like he goes ham on Hillary Clinton. He already says Hillary Clinton's a pedophile. He says she's.
Oh man, I seen today somebody called her Killery. I laughed
Killery.
so hard.
Killery. Yo man, hey Hillary, I don't want no smoke.
I don't want that. Please don't send that this way.
I don't want no smoke.
Check out the location on our phone.
Yeah, I don't want no smoke. I know I'm giving out some information, but we don't want no smoke.
I'm like, yo, people out here calling her Killery.
Oh man, yeah, but I would be a hero though if I was that one brother. Somebody came here and I got him. Like yeah, but he's known for being outspoken about people that are like you know maybe are in that lifestyle, like kind of. Like removing himself from certain people, like he was like, I didn't really know Epstein. He already tried to remove himself from certain situations, and he's definitely vocal about Hillary and saying she's a criminal and all that, and she's accused to be a pedophile, and he has been kind of in a way raging some kind of war on pedophilia. I can say that Trump has been doing that because
human trafficking.
Human trafficking. He's been putting a lot of laws in place to try to get that under wraps, but he said for her, I think in an interview or something, press conference, he was like, he wishes the best for her, like
Unless he's just being sarcastic.
Yeah, but he didn't say wish the best though. He said it in that kind of way, but it wasn't sarcastic.
He hopes the best for her.
I don't know. He didn't say that. He didn't say the exact words. I have to pull it up again, but he was basically in a way saying like, poor lady, I mean, she's in a bad position. I hope nothing has happened to her, basically.
Oh, we probably hoping she don't die while she in prison.
Yeah, but he wasn't vocal in regards to like how he usually is with someone that's known to be in situations that, he's usually just like straight to the point. He was hella like PC. He was PC with her. So people were like, people were like, she got something on.
Another tidbit of information that I read.
What?
Twitter had made an announcement that the whole QAnon thing.
Yeah, QAnon. Yeah.
That's from the fall.
Right.
They're actually going to start to suppress some of their stuff. So if they ever have anything that's trending, they will never be trending again. They're going to not release their stuff, and they'll even.
They're suppressing.
They're going to take it down, and they're going to make them very hard to find. Yeah,
they're suppressing that stuff.
So we turning into Korea.
Yeah. Even matter of fact, even YouTube, man. YouTube. Remember we were talking about this?
Well, they're all kind of all under the same scope, right? They're all.
Well, no.
They call them too far out right wing, and that they could potentially cause violence and
No.
disruptive behavior. That's why they're saying they're not going to show QAnon stuff and they won't have it in the general search. So it's like, how are you supposed to find this stuff? And they'll never make it trending, period. So that you can never see it if there's something that is legitimately going on.
Yeah, and that's the thing. A lot of things now you have to go looking for it. So if you don't know what you're looking for, you have to know where to look. You got to know.
They're removing posts too that share that type of information. So if we do share it and it's taken down, we'll try to put it back up.
What I was saying real quick, so we can wrap it up, is YouTube, kind of back on the pandemic thing, YouTube made it clear that if there are any information that's being spread that's against what the CDC guidelines or whoever is saying, it's like if you're talking about boosting your immune system, then your page is going to be flagged. So to tell somebody to take vitamins
really?
to help you during the coronavirus, which the thing about the virus is it impacts your immune system. So if most people that are susceptible to catching the virus are people that have immune deficiencies, or people that have something like a AIDS or different viruses that already attack the immune system. Those people are susceptible to catching it. And when you're at an older age, your immune system may be impacted differently. So the important thing is to take vitamins, to take things, and we're just gonna drop a few little
zinc.
Yeah, a few little gems. Make sure you guys get some zinc. You get it from a local health food store, GNC, probably find it. You can find it at Walmart, grocery store, all that stuff. Get you some zinc, vitamin C, of course. Make sure if you got a multivitamin, take it. If you don't have a multivitamin, there is sea moss that you can purchase. You can purchase it on Amazon, and we'll put some links in our description of some good sea moss that you can take. There's pill form, and then there's an actual raw sea moss. And we'll have to find a video also to put in our description so that you guys can see a video of how it is prepared and how you should properly wash it and all that good stuff.
They have the dried ones too.
Huh?
They have dried sea moss too.
But you gotta wash it. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm telling them you gotta prepare the sea moss. So I gotta send them a video so that they can see how to do that. Anyways, sea moss has about 96 minerals in it. It has all the major minerals that you're gonna need. It doesn't have some of the antioxidants that your body needs, but it has all the main minerals. It's basically a multivitamin. I mean, 96 minerals, you're good to go, man. So sea moss is a one-stop shop. So get some of that. And black seed oil is amazing. We've been taking that for a few years now, and it's antifungal, antibacterial, all that good stuff. You can drink it. You can put it on your skin. It's anti-inflammatory. There are different versions, or different brands. So we'll put some of the best brands in the description. So just bear with us. We'll make sure all that information gets in there. We want to make sure we give you guys everything that we know and what we're doing throughout this pandemic to, protect ourselves and make sure our immune system and our bodies are the best it can be. So
we do that stuff anyway. All right. Well, my final thought. I would love everybody in Hawaii to stay safe. I know Hurricane Douglas is on its way out there. It might be hitting some of y'all right now. So I hope you guys have prepared for it. We already went through 2 hurricanes here, and they're not nice. But we hope it treats you a lot better than ours treated us.
Not
nice. Sure.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
Yeah, right.
Flooded.
But we are also happy and very proud to announce that you guys can listen to us again on Spotify, Pocket Cast, Google Podcasts, Breaker, and Radio Public. Soon to be coming to Apple Podcasts, hopefully. Don't forget to hit us up with questions, comments on Facebook at We Random and IG at We Random TV. Or you can find us and follow me on IG at Savannah808 Smiles. Head over to follow my delightful co-host, Izzo on the Beat there also. And don't forget to subscribe to our Random TV YouTube channel we hit the bell, get the notification when we drop the content.
All right, y'all. Well, hey, man, that's it. Make sure y'all like, subscribe.
Yep.
And, hey, man, just look for us next week. We'll have another topic for y'all, some more random content. And also, all the music that y'all listen to on our podcast is produced by yours truly. So definitely support your boy. You can check out my music on izzoonthebeat.com. There you can purchase music as well. If you are a music supervisor, if you're a recording artist, looking for music for film, commercials, whatever, you can look on that website and you can find pretty much whatever you're looking for. And also, you can contact me at izzoonthebeat@gmail.com for further information. So that's it, y'all, man. We glad y'all tuned in with us. Stay through the whole podcast, man, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.
Yep. Mahalo for listening, commenting, and supporting. Aloha.
So I just need another one.